Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace has ignited a fierce debate on Capitol Hill after introducing a resolution that would ban transgender women from using female bathrooms at the U.S. Capitol. It comes just weeks before Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride is set to become the first openly transgender member of Congress. Last night, Mace misgendered McBride when she basically accused her of being, quote, a biological man trying to force himself into women's spaces. And today, Mace doubled down.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay.
Yesterday, in response, Congresswoman-elect McBride wrote on X, quote, everyday Americans go to work with people who have life journeys different than their own and engage with them respectfully. I hope members of Congress can muster that same kindness. This all comes after Republicans leaned heavily into culture war issues on the 2024 campaign trail and after the Trump campaign ran ads saying, quote, Kamala is for they, them, President Trump is for you. Joining me now is Sahil Kapur on Capitol Hill. Thanks so much for being here, Sahil. So Representative-elect Sarah McBride, the first openly transgender person elected to Congress, is calling this a distraction. What's been the reaction there on Capitol Hill today by this move by Congresswoman Nancy Mace?
Hey, Yamiche. Well, the Republican zeitgeist is pretty well captured by Speaker Mike Johnson, who was asked earlier this morning by a reporter point blank, is Representative-elect McBride a man or a woman? He said, he kind of brushed off the question, said everyone should be treated with dignity and respect. And then he felt the need to come back later and clarify what he meant by that. Let's play what Mike Johnson said before and after.
I'm not going to get into this. We welcome all new members with open arms who are duly elected representatives of the people. I believe it's a command that we treat all persons with dignity and respect. We will. And I'm not going to engage in silly debates about this. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman. And a man cannot become a woman.
Now, Nancy Mace, for her part, is defending her resolution. She's calling transgender women, quote, men pretending to be women. She's getting some backup here from one-time foe, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who called Representative-elect McBride mentally ill, said women should be able to defend themselves from what she called biological men invading our spaces. These are all direct quotes here from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Democrats also reacted. The top House Democrat, Hakeem Jeffries, called this simply bullying from Republicans. The number 2 House Democrat, Catherine Clark, said they're creating issues that are not important. Senate Majority Leader, the outgoing Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, called this mean and cruel on the part of Republicans. The Republicans at least, appear to be deterred by any of that.
Yeah. A lot going on there, Sahil. And I also want to ask you, during the 2024 campaign, we saw Republicans lean in on the culture war issues, including on this topic specifically when it comes to transgender rights. Should we expect, we think, to see more of these kind of cultural issues come up in legislation in the next Congress?
Yes, I think we should expect that. Republicans just captured the trifecta. They have the presidency, the House, and the Senate. They feel very emboldened by this. They ran a lot of anti-transgender ads and messaging in the 2024 election. Clearly, they ended up winning after doing that, and they feel that the country is in this anti-transgender moment, which they can use to their political advantage. So whether it's executive orders, including some that President Biden signed protecting transgender Americans from discrimination, Trump can easily undo those. Could Republicans try to insert some provisions in new legislation as well that cut against transgender rights? It's harder to do in government funding because they would need Democratic support. I think that could be one of the fights we see between the two parties in terms of how far Democrats are willing to let this go. But the bottom line is, yes, it's an issue that Republicans feel very comfortable with right now and intend to advance pretty aggressively. Congresswoman Mace said she expects Mike Johnson to put this up in the rules resolution, her bill regarding bathrooms, and that if he doesn't, she'll work to amend that resolution. If that doesn't work, then she's going to push for a privileged vote on the floor of the House for her resolution. Again, they're very emboldened right now.
Yeah. Well, great reporting, Sahil.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.